So yesterday we talked about the arithmetic sequence. No, series. So first, let me back up. A sequence is just a list. A series is when you add up numbers in the list. That's the difference. So yesterday we found that in order to add up certain numbers in our list, we need to know three things. We need to know the first number, we need to know the common difference, and we need to know the number that we're going to. So like if I say add up the first 25 numbers, we need to use the other formula to figure out what the 25th number is. Today's formula is similar, except I think it's even easier because we actually won't need to do it in 2 steps. So this is the new formula. This is the formula for a geometric sequence. I put all the formulas on the board right there. And also, I'm going to print out the formula sheet that you're going to be using for the CRT. Since you're allowed to use it on the CRT, I'll let you use it on my test also. It has all 4 of those formulas. The only thing I don't think it has is each term that's defined. So like A sub 1 is the first term, B means the common difference, R means the common ratio, blah, blah, blah. So that's not on there. So you'll have to know at least that part. So the new formula says, if I want to find the sum of a geometric sequence, I need to know the first term. I need to know the common ratio, so right here. And I also need to know the number of terms I'm going to do this for. Now, if you notice, it doesn't ask us to find the 7th or 27th term, like the other one did. So yesterday's problems, they were kind of like 2 steps. We had to use the arithmetic formula to find the nth term first, and then we could just plug that into the new formula. In this one, we can jump straight to it. As long as you know what R is, as long as you know how many numbers you're going to count up, and as long as you know the first term. So we're going straight into it. It says find the sum of the first 12 terms. So right there, that's n. If you're doing 12 terms, that means n equals 12. Right here, this is our first term. That's A sub 1. So it looks like the only thing they don't tell us is the R. What's the R in this question? R is equal to 3. You don't remember how to come up with R? You can take any pair of consecutive numbers, that means basically like next door neighbors, put the right one on top of the left one. I don't care which pair you take. If I take these 2, and I put the right one on top of the left one, there's the R. Now, the only reason I'm allowed to do this is because in the beginning, they already told me it was geometric. So I don't have to check if it's geometric. I already know it is. If they never said it was geometric, I would have to do that for every single pair and make sure it's the same answer every single time. But since it's geometric, I only did it once. Okay, so now that we know all of this stuff, here's what we're going to do. We're going to find the sum of the first 12 terms, starting off with this big long fraction, and we're going to put in the first term, which is 1, and in parentheses, we're going to put 1 minus, now check this part out. This is the part I need you guys to really pay attention to. This is the part that could screw you up. When you guys put in your R into this formula, you need to put it inside parentheses. Here's the reason why. It's going to matter when there's a negative involved. People are going to screw this up because when you put a negative, what happens when you have 2 negatives? That's what everyone thinks. But here's the catch. And it's not going to matter on this one, but it will on the next one. If I put in this 3, and the formula says I have to put an exponent on that, let me scoot out this other parentheses real quick. The exponent on this one needs to be 12. Oh. Now, pretend for a second. Pretend that was a negative. If you did the negative and negative first, that is absolutely wrong because of PEMDAS. PEMDAS says you have to do exponents first. Now, I don't know if you guys realize this, but when you have a problem that has like negative and negative 4, you all know that's a plus 4, right? But the reason why it's a plus 4 is because this is really negative 1 times negative 4. That's why it's plus 4. So when I add an exponent to this, like 4, now you don't do these first. You have to do the exponent first, which turns this positive, and then that will turn it back negative. That's why you need to have the parentheses around this. Because if you don't have the parentheses, the calculator is going to screw it up. Okay, then the bottom part. The bottom part is just 1 minus. And the bottom part doesn't matter because the bottom part doesn't have an exponent, so I'm not going to put parentheses around the r on the bottom. So it's just 1 minus 3. So then that all goes into the calculator and it's going to spit out a big number. See, carry the 1. So I think it's like 177,000. Is that it? Oh, that was the next one there. Dang. Oh, look at your genius. What'd you get? 265,720. Guys, you will get big numbers in these problems because they're growing quickly. Anytime you have a geometric sequence, they get big very fast. So when I add up just the first 12 numbers, they increase so quickly that we end up in the hundreds of thousands when we add them up. Okay, next question. Now, I'm going to give you guys probably like 40 minutes in class to get some work done. The reason why is because all these problems are the same, even though they look different. Look, if you look at the bottom, see, it doesn't say the same stuff as before, but you already have your information. This is n, this is a sub 1, and then you can find the r the same way we've been finding r every single time. So even though it looks different, we probably won't even do that question. Let's do, we're gonna do 2 more. I'm gonna give you a chance to try one. So let's identify all the stuff first, and then you can do the formula part. So this right here, this is A1. This right here is your N. What's R? It's going to be a -2. Good. You can tell it's got to be negative because of the alternating signs. Positive, negative tells us it's got to be negative for the R. So I'm going to give you about 60 seconds. I want you to write down the formula with all the numbers in place, and then type it into your calculator and see what you get. I don't remember what this answer is, but walking around, I'm seeing a lot of this. 2, 1, 8, 4, 6. I think that's what that one should do. That's a good question. Why is the bottom plus? So the formula says 1 minus, but then I put in a -2. So I have 2 negatives in a row, and it turns into a plus. Now I can't do that on the top though, because the top has an exponent. The bottom doesn't have an exponent, so I can actually simplify that. If you want, you can type in 1 minus -2, and it's going to give you the same answer. You got what? Did you use parentheses? Oh. Yeah. Okay, so the last one we're going to do before I let you use the whole class time to get some work done is number 3, because I want you to do one with fractions. I saw that double take, some of you. You're like, fractions? Okay, so watch this. 32 is your a sub 1. 15 is your end. Well, what's your R? Yeah, that's where your fraction comes from. You can tell when you're going to have a fraction in a geometric sequence when you're getting smaller. Because in geometric sequences, you either multiply or you divide. Well, you multiply by a fraction. That's how I knew that one was going to be a fraction. So using the formula again for the first 15, and I don't know why it's 15 again, but that's what it is. It would be the first term, so 32, and then 1 minus the r. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the parentheses, so it's 1/2 right there, and that's going to be to the 15th power. And then on the bottom, it's 1 minus the 1/2. Is this the 177? Can you type it in? Oh, it's a fraction. Oh, yeah, no, hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot, it's a fraction. So you're going to see a decimal. You're going to see a decimal, and what you need to do is hit the FD button. It's like right above the 8. What is it? I forgot. 512 on the bottom? What is it on top? Like that? Oh, I couldn't hear anything fast. 67? 32,767? Over 512. I don't remember where I got 177 from. Okay, so that's it. You guys have about 40 minutes to do the assignment. Tomorrow's Wednesday. That means the testing stuff can happen the first hour. We're going to be on a late start schedule the rest of the day. And then, let me be clear, there is no late start, so make sure you come. But tomorrow is when you're going to get the review. Now, Thursday, I want to take the test. So that way, if we run out of time, you can put them into the computer on Friday. Now, I don't expect everyone to take 2 whole days on this test. So on Friday, you'll also have some in-class time to retake Chapter 10. Chapter 10 corrections were in the back a while ago, and then the answers were posted on the side right here that show you which questions you need to review. If you don't want to wait till Friday to do your retake, you can come in before or after school also. And then usually I grade them on the spot and update your grades immediately. But there will be some class time Friday designated to retest if you need to. Rest of the class time is yours. Please don't waste time. Can you guys